Huh. All right, let's talk about Michael Vick and the controversy that rocked his whole world, his involvement in a dogfighting ring. In case you're not familiar with him, Vick's a big deal American football public figure who used to play for the Atlanta Falcons as a quarterback, and this whole dogfighting drama was a pretty severe drop in his career life graph. In April 2007, some property Vick owned was searched by law enforcement for drugs, but they found something they certainly weren't expecting. They discovered evidence of a dogfighting ring, something that's illegal and heavily frowned upon due to the cruelty inflicted on the animals. It seemed animals were being harmed and killed for the cruel sport, and Vick's property was at the heart of it all. As you can probably imagine, as soon as this was brought into the public attention, the reaction was pretty explosive. No one could believe that a high-profile athlete like Vick could be involved in something so inhumane. People who know a thing or two about animal rights and legislation, like the likes of PETA and the Humane Society of the United States, were calling for Vick's head on a platter. Eventually, Vick got charged under federal laws for dogfighting-related offenses. Now this is where things get really messy. Vick initially swore blind he wasn't involved, but eventually he pleaded guilty and admitted he's part of funding the dogfighting ring, even going so far as to accept his involvement in killing dogs that didn't perform well. As a result of his admission, Vick ended up spending nearly 2 years in federal prison, besides losing his job with the Falcons. After doing his time, Vick managed to return to professional football, but his image was forever tarnished. His actions had not only violated laws, but they had also broken the unwritten rules of sportsmanship and decent humanity. There was no shortage of people who were prepared to point this out too. Many football fans made it clear that they didn't forget or forgive his involvement in the dogfighting ring. Yet some others, including ex-Indianapolis Colts coach Tony Dungy, made an active effort to help Vick restart his life after he was released from prison. Dungy even helped Vick get back into football once again, this time with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2009. Yet the disturbing images from the dogfighting investigation were still fresh in the public memory, making his comeback very challenging. He, however, made the necessary efforts to accept the consequences of his past actions and tried to make amends. About the dogs rescued from Vick's property, many were adopted or taken in by animal rescue organizations. Some even became therapy dogs. Talk about turning an awful situation into something positive. To sum this all up, Vick did some really messed up things that landed him in prison and effectively derailed the superstar life he was living. But even after all that, he still managed to bounce back, albeit with a ton of challenges along the way. His story could serve as a lesson that, no matter how far you fall, you can still pick yourself up, but not before making the required amends. But it's also a reminder of just how damaging involvement in something as cruel and heartless as dogfighting can be to an individual's reputation, and rightly so.